later this month have been abruptly postponed by several months. Some of the applicants who had interviews scheduled even next week have received emails from US immigration authorities informing that their interviews are being pushed back to next year. The mass cancellation of scheduled interviews has sparked outrage, with many of the applicants now unable to return to the United States due to pending interviews. The rescheduling is being done for all applicants who were previously given appointments from the 15th of December onwards. The cancellation of interviews comes even as the US expands the social media vetting of the applicants. The US State Department will now require the H-1B visa applicants and dependents to make social media accounts public for review. This expanded vetting is intended to strengthen background checks, but also introduces new procedural steps that may deter prospective applicants. Enhanced vetting, which is being introduced as part of the new security measure, will affect Indians the most because Indians constitute more than 70% of all H-1B visa approvals in the recent years. Senior Consulting Editor Srinjoy Chaudhary is on the broadcast with us. And Srinjoy, last-minute cancellations, that's what's being reported, that has led to some outrage as well. Is it all because of the social media vetting? How is it going to impact the process?
This could be the fallout of this gold card that has just been opened by the US government and announced already by President Trump. Also, social media could be another issue. First of all, the cancellations, what will it do? It will naturally affect a lot of Indians because, as you rightly said, 70% of all H-1B visa applicants and visa issuees are Indian. So that's going to hurt Indians quite a lot. Secondly, it's going to hurt American companies because H-1B visas are issued by firms in America. Now they need their specialists, and these specialists, many of them are Indian. So there is work to be done in America and Indian specialists to do it. Now if the specialists are not there, then there's naturally going to be a delay in the work. So the American economy in the long term could get a little affected by this.
Okay, all right. Do stay with us. We also have on the broadcast with us Pratikrit Pain on the broadcast. Pratikrit, is the American economy going to be affected more by this entire process? And the vetting process has now become even tougher. There have been some last-minute cancellations. Social media is also going to be vetted by the US authorities.
Well, the social media vetting has been a norm for a long time. I mean, if there may have been some fundamental, specific, changes made, but over a period of the last several years, it has been the norm like that. But if you look at it from the perspective of whether it would impact the H-1B visa issue, the economy or the fortunes of United States. Look, United States as an economy has been one which has been created fundamentally by the immigrants.
Yes.
It is because of their ability to absorb and bring in talents from across the world and give them an ecosystem to flourish. That has worked wonders for United States. Now, if they want to change that, that is their choice to make. But if they do it, then invariably it shows that somewhere it is definitely going to impact their economic, fortunes. If you look at a country like India, which in a very short span of time could create the third largest ecosystem for startups in the world, and if there are far more restrictions on H-1B visa, then invariably a kind of a reverse brain drain would happen not just in India but many other countries.
Okay.
United States on its own could not have been what it is if it not have been for the immigrants. Probably 1/3 or 1/4 of the Silicon Valley startups in the tech sector are created by Indians. India itself is responsible for that brain drain that happened from India. But invariably, the Americans gave them an opportunity. If they want to reverse it, that's their own personal choice as a country. But it is definitely going to have an impact so far as their fortunes are concerned.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Let's also talk about this online presence review. It has been going on for some time now. But it comes into effect next week, the new review rules that are officially now part of the vetting process for H-1B visa. So these rules will cover the H-1B visa applicants and their dependents as well, which means that your social media should be open for review by the US authorities. So the social media is going to be screened by the US authorities, and the consular offices will check all your online presence, your social media apps are all going to be checked. The move has now resulted in some abrupt rescheduling, and that is where the concern really has been. It has caused some outrage as well, with many questioning why the last-minute rescheduling. Well, that's all we could pack for you in this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Slipping into a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. The morning news hour on the other side.